With me now is the Conservative MP Rehman Chishti. He resigned as the party's vice chairman last month because of the Brexit situation. Welcome to you indeed. Just hearing there from Lord Callanan saying that Mrs May might be able to get some kind of legal undertaking that MPs could have a break on the backstop. Would that be enough, do you think, for her to get this through?
Let me put it this way, Adam. I've never voted against the government in 8 years of my time in Parliament.
You still haven't?
And I still haven't. I could have done today. And I backed the Prime Minister for the leadership. So for me, it's not about personality. And I have a huge amount of respect for the Prime Minister. But I disagree with the Prime Minister's judgment with regards to the withdrawal agreement. Because for me, the promises that we made, at the election to say we're coming out of the single market and the customs union, and then we get the backstop, and it's completely contradictory to what we promised the great British public. And in answering your question straight, if there is some kind of a declaration added on to the withdrawal agreement, is that satisfactory to me? And the answer to that is no, it's not. Because for me, the whole idea of having the backstop in the withdrawal agreement is a non-starter. So that's why the question that was key yesterday, and I think the Prime Minister didn't answer it, is the question was, when the Prime Minister comes back to Parliament, will there be one word different in the withdrawal agreement to what there is now? She says she will get assurances, but no amendment to the withdrawal agreement by removing the backstop, which is something which members of Parliament from across the House have made very clear it's a non-starter. So on that basis, if we come back to this situation, and hopefully at that time I'll be given a chance to speak. I was due to speak yesterday, and having spoken to your constituents, being out there, listened to what they have to say, I was bitterly disappointed. You turn up, your constituents want their views to be heard, and the Prime Minister and the government pulls it at the last minute.
So does this mean that, given where we are, just over 100 days to go until March the 29th when we leave the European Union, you are now saying, on behalf of your constituents, no deal is better than this deal? That you're prepared to see the country leave without a deal?
That's not what I said. What I'm saying
I'm asking you.
I can answer it. I'm straight in answering all your questions. What I've said is 65% of my constituents has voted to leave. And after they saw the withdrawal agreement, going out there in the constituency, I was very clear that I had a more or less a clear majority of the view of my constituents was in line with how they voted in 2016. And answering your point, no, I do not want to see a no-deal scenario. My first preference, and that of my constituents, is to get a brilliant trade deal with our European partners. And I would say that it should be our key priority. If it's not, the key words of our Prime Minister was a no deal is better than a bad deal. We have to prepare for all eventualities.
But we see we are where we are, and time is running out, and people need to know, because it would appear if this deal can't get through because it pleases nobody, the options are going to be delaying this and having some kind of reconsideration of the whole Brexit process, or going out without a deal, which most independent economic experts say could have quite severe consequences. And you're going to have to make up your mind between those two.
I'll be clear with you again. I do not want delay. That's why I wanted the vote yesterday in Parliament, so the Prime Minister can go to Europe and say the will of the British Parliament is to say this deal is a bad deal. It does not satisfy the commitments made at the election by the Conservative Party back to coming out of the single market and the customs union. But what I'm saying to you, Adam, is look, we want to get the best deal which is good for us and our European partners. But the scenario which some put to say that because we can't get a free trade deal, and if we have to go into a no deal, it's a cliff edge. Well, I'm sorry, that is complete and utter nonsense. It is. Well, some say that, but 165 countries around the world operate on the World Trade Organization and terms. 98% of the world trade.
All of them actually have other agreements with their close trading partners, which is what we're proposing severing with the European Union, which is
what I'm saying, Adam, is look, Europe, I want to be a part of Europe. These are our brilliant neighbours, but I don't want to be part of the European Union. But we should not have that argument again. The British public rejected the offer that was there to be part of the European Union. They want to leave.
Have you sent in a letter asking for a leadership vote of confidence in the Prime Minister's?
Let me make it very clear. The procedure that's designed for Conservative Party members, for members of Parliament, is to ensure it's private, so you can vote without fear or favour in these matters, take into account national interest and also party interest. But let me say this to you. Have I had discussions with my association chairman on these matters, and were they private discussions? The answer is yes. So I think you can interpret that in whatever way you want, but I'm not going to go into private discussions with my association chairman.
Let's put it another way, whether you're one of them or not, what would you say to your colleagues who are considering at this time, with, as I say, I think it's 109 days to go until Brexit, having a leadership contest?
Well, I would say to my colleagues, and these are great colleagues, we have talent at every level, do what you think is right. Do what you think is right. Speak to your association chairman, speak to your members, like I have done, and then I know my colleagues. These are great colleagues, and they will make the right decisions.
It's not exactly a vote of confidence of Mrs May, is it?
You've got my answer. I think I wish the Prime Minister every success on getting the best deal from Europe back in without the back deal, without the backstop.
Rehman Chishti, thank you very much indeed.